Great day of racing set to take place here in Rapid City, South Dakota. Let's talk to some of tonight's drivers.
All right, Dan, we're out here in Rapid City. We're out for round number 11. It's a little ways away for most of us out on the West Coast, but for you, it's a little bit closer. So what do you think of the track out here tonight?
Well, I think it'll be a good track. You know, it's kind of a reminiscence of the Cottage Grove. Nice long course, a lot of obstacles. You know, we like that. So a lot of driver skill involved. You know, we're going to need some big power when it gets down to the final rounds. But I think it'll be a challenging event.
It is a longer course than what we're used to seeing. Moving on to our second qualifying run here. Looks like we're going to have Dan Patrick in the number 50 Samson going up against Scattini in the number 11 Monster Jerky. Scattini's first round back now. We're going to see if he's remembered everything that he learned early on in the season. Here they go. They're off the line. Scattini looks like he's got a little edge coming up to the cars. But look at the Hemi of Samson. Patrick hammers it down with a 6.073 against Scattini's 7.015 in Monster Jerky.
Well, Frank's got one more pass to try, and neither of them good enough to knock Samson and his 6.073 off the pole position, if you will. Samson's still the fastest driver. Frank Scattini's got some work to do to improve on his 7-second flat run. Here's Samson as top qualifier. All he's got to do is wait to see if anybody knocks him off. I don't think he's going to be able to beat that 6-second flat, but he is strong. Look at how fast he is right there. Again, Scattini struggling. He did better his first round time. 5.830. Monster Jerky about the same in second.
Well, I mean, we qualify good. We always qualify good, but we usually screw up and go out in the first round, so maybe here our luck will change, you know. So you shouldn't red light here. The track is so hard, you just blow the tires off the line. So we'll just see. You know, the key is getting over that first hill and getting it down and getting after it. Then remember, you got to get after the throttle after the second set of cars, because there is finish line is past where we land.
One round remaining here in straight line drag competition. Wade Sherman and Kevin Hines with you. Here's Craig Christensen in the Dragon Slayer. He's fixed that battery, and he's going to do battle with Dan Patrick in Samson, the fast qualifier. A lot on the line here, Kevin, because fast loser is still up for grabs as well.
That's right, it is. And as you can see, Dan Patrick in the Samson, very strong all night long so far. That Hemi just opens up out here on this track. Christensen has got to beat the 6.4, and there it is, a 6.301. That is going to put him into the fast loser bracket against Samson's 5.603, so it looks like Craig's coming back.
And 5.603 is the fast time of the night. Samson was top qualifier with a 5.83, but he's even better at 5.60 here in his heat, and he just keeps getting stronger as the night goes on.
You know, it seems like, Dan, once he gets dialed in an event, he just gets better and better all night long, and that's what we're seeing out here in Rapid City, South Dakota. You can see in the replay there, he was just going for it all the way. Craig Christensen, unfortunately, a little bit slower there, off the line, going to suffer a little bit slower time throughout the course of this event, but he is going to come back as the fast loser. That's going to give him one more shot.
Looked like some pieces were flying off of that Dragon Slayer truck there in that last pass. Samson
Final action to come right now.
Samson has been awfully strong, going from 6 seconds to 5.8 to 5.6. He is going to be tough to beat, especially when the Dragon Slayer is a bit hampered by battery problems. There's an electrical issue with that truck. He did well to make it to the semis here, but Samson awfully strong tonight. Patrick, quick off the line. He's pulling away. This will be a victory. Look at Dragon Slayer there, up on two wheels, wheelie over the obstacle. 5.674 for Samson. Respectable time of 5.974 for Dragon Slayer. Dragon Slayer goes home. Samson advances to the finals to race against Swanson in the Obsession truck.
You know, one thing about Dan Patrick, he is always consistent. Out here, another 5.6 based time. We saw him come in, as qualifying with a 5.8, dropped it down to a 5.6, carried that again here for the second race in a row. So I think Dan Patrick is definitely going to be the guy to beat out here tonight. Look at this, a little slower off the line than Craig Christensen and Dragon Slayer, but right there, a huge wheelie by Dragon Slayer, and that right there cost him the race.
Yeah, freestyle should be fun tonight. Dragon Slayer's set up to fly here. He's going to put on a show in freestyle later tonight. Didn't help him here in straight line drags, as it's Obsession and Samson coming at you after this.
Well, it's been a while in straight line, so we ran some consistent 5.6s, so we just go out and see if we can just, I think we run the same thing. We should be in there at the end.
It's time for the finals of straight line drag competition here in round 11 from South Dakota. Rick Swanson in an unfamiliar position in the finals here in straight line drags, going up against Dan Patrick and Samson. Wade Sherman and Kevin Hines with you to bring you the final action here. They go green, and this is a close race. It looks like Samson has the advantage. Swanson giving it everything he has, but Samson and Patrick have taken it 5-7-2-9. He has been consistent all night, getting faster and faster as the night goes on. Straight line drag champion, round 11, Dan Patrick and Samson.
Let's take another look as we go back into the replay. Samson and Obsession, very quick off the line. Both drivers fast, but look at that Hemi one more time. Dan Patrick and Samson has got the truck for this track out here in Rapid City, South Dakota, and I think he proved that right there. Reaction time's very close. Samson a 125, Obsession with a .169. Very, very close off the line. I think over the course of the event, that Hemi opened up, and that's where Obsession lost the race.
This will help Rick Swanson in the season standings, but it should not be enough to get him up on top. But he is awful close, and he's been consistent all year long. There's your results tonight. Patrick on top, followed by Rick Swanson, Craig Christensen, Paul Jensen, and Frank Scattini checks in with a 5th. Bringing up the rear, it's Paul Strong and Marshall Law. He finished 6th here in straight line drags. Your standings after round 11, Dan Patrick on top. 5 points behind is Rick Swanson in the Obsession, followed by Dragon Slayer, Dan Runty and Bigfoot, and Kelvin Rayner. Natural High hangs on to 5th. Rounding out the top 10, it's Paul Jensen and Spider-Man. 60 points back to Lindsey Wink and Iron Outlaw, followed by Jimmy Cretin, Dave Harkey and Bigfoot, and Frank Scattini and Monster Jerky. Before we move on to obstacle course action, let's talk to our winner in straight line drags here from round 11.
All right, so we're down here with Rick Swanson in Obsession. Rick came out here. You did a great job. You've come up in the points, you know, after 10th round. So now out here for round number 11, it looks like you're in pretty good standings.
Yeah, unfortunately, Dan got me in the finals. You know, my hat's off to him. He makes our trucks run down the road. Half our trucks he built. And I think he's got 1 or 2 on us just because he built them. But what a competitor.
Well, you come out here, you put on a great show out here for Rapid City, out here at the Black Hills Speedway. It's been great to have you out here, and congratulations on 2nd spot tonight.
I thank all the fans for coming out. They're the ones that let us do this, you know. One more time, unfortunately, I had to see Dan in the finals. I really would have got in front of him in points, but, you know, my hat's off to him. I'll take 2nd to him anytime.
All right, now out here with Dan Patrick. Dan, it looks like you're going to get to put one in the books out here tonight.
Well, you know, after 11 rounds, we finally put one down, you know, and we've been qualifying first a lot of events, but we've been just having bad runs in, you know, the first round. So, hey, you know, I got to run Craig twice in a row tonight, and that was no easy challenge. Then, you know, Rick, he's no slouch, you know, and so anyway, I mean, we're glad to get him.
Tell me a little bit about the course out here tonight. It seems a little bit more stretched out after the cars than what we've seen so far up to date this season.
Well, you know, we've moved out of going from rodeo arenas to dirt tracks stuff. Like, we have more room to do things. So you're seeing a different level of the trucks now that we did in the earlier rounds. So, you know, before it's 30 feet, you're done. And now it's 30 feet first object. And so, you know, tonight I was looking out the right window and was looking down to ground. That wasn't a good thing. But, you know, the old truck laid down good and it settled down good. So, you know, it makes better racing for the fans. It makes better racing for television for the fans at home. And we hope the courses keep stepping up.
Well, Dan, it's great to have you out here. You're finally able to put one down as a first place finish out here tonight for round number 11. Congratulations.
Thanks a lot, and maybe we can take another one home tonight in obstacles, see what we can do.
Welcome back to Black Hills Speedway in Rapid City, South Dakota. This is round 11 obstacle course action. Dan Patrick, our straight line winner, and Samson going up against Craig Christensen and Dragon Slayer. And Kevin, Dragon Slayer usually very, very tough in the rounding round.
You know, a lot of experience out here on the field, over 50 years of combined monster truck experience between these 2 drivers. Dan Patrick and Samson a little quicker across the line. The finish lines are offset, so you kind of got to use that to judge where the trucks are at. But look at this, Christensen appears to be catching up as he rounds the corner. They both go over the rollers at the same time. They're over the set of cars. They are side by side, and look at this. We've got a half a lap left to go in Chicago style. Patrick clean around the outside there. He's got the hammer down. Christensen also and he skies it out. Look at that. Christensen off the cars. He's going to go outside the timing equipment. He is not going to finish this race.
Yeah, but like I said, Freestyle is going to be one heck of a show. Dragon Slayer is set up to fly. Even Craig can't contain that beast here tonight, handing the victory to Samson. But I can't wait for Freestyle. Dragon Slayer is set up to fly.
Man, I tell you what, these trucks are just hammering it out here. And of course, you know, when you have that much room to hit a jump, they're going to go sky high. And Craig Christensen showing that there. Dan Patrick and Samson, we're taking a look at his run right now, back over the roller. Nice and clean all the way around. It could have been a little bit faster and a little bit more dialed in, if you want my honest opinion about it. But Dan Patrick got the job done right here, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, very fluid, nice and controlled. Didn't try to force it, didn't do too much, and that let him win this race. And Craig Christensen, he doesn't know the meaning of the word caution. He doesn't know the meaning of the word hold back. The words hold back. It's 2 words. I don't know how many words is a word, but anyway, Christensen really, really overly aggressive here tonight. It may have cost him this race. Almost put it on its lid, didn't he?
You know, he really did. Christensen, a very wild driver, very, very fast, always good in the obstacle course racing that we have seen thus far the entire year, and last year as well, which is why he was our 05 champion. But right here, you just got a little bit excited, actually, as we come around the final corner after this set of cars. We're going to watch it from here on out. The race is coming to a close right now as he rounds the corner. Look at that. He's a little bit sideways, and right here, Wade, is where he launches. Look at that. Huge jump by Christensen, flying up on 2 wheels, then on 1 wheel, not able to keep it contained. And look at the slow-mo, the truck almost over backwards.
I'm willing to put a few bucks on Freestyle that he goes upside down. He is just not able to contain this thing, and he's going to come out and put on one heck of a show. I wouldn't be surprised if we have to turn him back over, but plenty of obstacle course still to come. Here's a word with Craig Christensen.
Oh, shoot, that's just another day at the office, dude. No big deal. Problem is that I dropped my Pepsi, and I was trying to find the Pepsi, and I got wedged underneath the throttle pedal, and it just hung wide open, and so I was just getting it, so I grabbed another gear. All right, here's the truth. Come around the corner. I looked over, I thought I was behind, so I just flat-footed at that tabletop. Just as soon as I hit that tabletop, I thought, oh, this was not a good idea. Had way too much momentum, nosed over, landed into the ramp on the cars, then it went vertical. From there on out, I think I was just hanging onto the seat, hoping she stayed upright and put my foot all the way into her. She stood back up, so got lucky.
And there you have it, Craig.
Welcome back to round 11 of Monsters of Destruction on the Outdoor Channel from the Black Hills Speedway in Rapid City, South Dakota. Second semifinal coming at you now. There's Frank Scattini and Monster Jerky, the number 11 truck, going up against our straight line winner, Dan Patrick and Samson.
This is going to be an awful tough race here. Of course, Scattini, his first time back in the saddle since early on in the season in round number 2. Has got a new motor and a new tranny in the truck out there tonight. It looks like so far they are side by side, but Dan Patrick likes to capitalize on these long straights in the Hemi. They are still side by side. Patrick a little bit of an edge right there as they come around the second half of the lap. They've got one more obstacle and then a roller and a set of cars, and that's going to be the end of the game. Right here, there you see Patrick up in the top left of your screen. They're a little bit ahead coming across the cars, and there you have it. He's going to beat Scattini by, oh my goodness, almost a second and a half.
Nice run for Dan Patrick and Samson. He has proven to be faster in the straight lines here tonight, and that really served him well on this long obstacle course here in round 11. Quick off the line, very smooth over the roller. A lot of distance here, flies over the first set of cars. Samson, a very strong run, Kevin.
You know, one of the things I really like about Dan Patrick and his truck is a lot of the technology, even in his suspension, is very, very old school. There, take a look at that reaction time, 0.043. It doesn't get much faster than that. That truck was already moving when that light went green.
Frank's been real slow off the draw all night here. He must have found something in the crowd he likes looking at, because he has not been quick off the line.
Well, Scattini has got a lot to readjust to. His first time back in that monster truck in several months now, since round number 2. But Dan Patrick, of course, capitalizes on mistakes that other drivers make, especially on a course this long. Scattini, I think we've got to give him a little bit of credit because he held it together really well and had a great run for his first time back.
He's got some new parts on this truck, working with the folks over at CarTech to develop a new front end. It's kind of new for them because they're known for their dune buggy work, but they've really helped him here as he made the semifinals.
And here we go, Scattini coming back around, you know, a second and a half. I mean, who else would you rather lose to than Dan Patrick and Samson? He's proven that he is the fastest guy out here so far tonight. And Scattini is just, he's going to go down with a fight.
What do you mean, who would I rather lose to? I'd rather win. Anyways, Samson and Obsession in the finals. Could be anybody's night. Samson looking to sweep here in the finals of obstacle course racing. He's already taken straight line. He's on the line right there. But Swanson, he's really, really wanting to get it done. He's finished second too often for his taste this season.
You know, these two drivers both very closely matched, and in fact, they're 1 and 2 in the points right now over the course of this event. So right now, there you can see Samson is already a little bit ahead. He opens that Hemi up, he pins it right off the bat, coming over that roller. Now they're back side by side. Swanson has made up a little bit of ground. They're once again side by side off of that roller over the set of cars. Here's where Samson capitalizes. Right here, he gets it opened up, he gets it lined up, gets it in the straight, drops the hammer, and that Hemi does the rest of the work inside that Chevrolet chassis of Samson.
There you see Swanson on the brakes over his obstacle really well, but it's going to be too little, too late as Dan Patrick brings it home victorious. He sweeps round 11, 32.394 for Patrick. Obsession checks in 33.178. The second fastest time of the night, but once again, always a bridesmaid, never a bride for Rick Swanson. He'll have to settle for second as Patrick really put one on him here in the final.
You know, and there you can see how Samson's truck, I was talking just a moment ago about some of the old school technology on the Samson truck. The old cantilever suspension absorbs all the bumps out there. You know, he launches off these jumps, it settles right in, he's able to get right into the power, and with a 1:21 reaction time versus Rick's .377, that's got to give him an advantage.
Dan Patrick obviously pleased. He sweeps straight line and obstacle course here in South Dakota. And I think it just comes down to he's got more horsepower. FabTech, the Obsession truck, disappointed once again tonight. Rick Swanson just not enough, though he put up a really strong battle, posting the second fastest time of the night. But second is second.
Second is second, but the closest race that we have seen all night, especially on a course that is this long, you know, basically a 30-plus second course. So for him to come out there and remain within a second difference, basically, I got to hand it to Rick Swanson. He did a great job in that FabTech Amerigas Obsession truck.
Samson really figured something out tonight. Patrick started out in his first round 36.1, improved to 34.8, and then finished up with a 33.17. Dan Patrick, your winner, followed by Rick Swanson, Frank Scattini, Paul Jensen, Paul Strong, and finishing in sixth, it was Craig Christensen in the Dragon Slayer. Your standings after 11 rounds, Rick Swanson, your season leader by 1 point over Samson. Craig Christensen is third. It's a long way back to Dan Runte and Bigfoot and Paul Jensen and Spider-Man. Rounding out the top 10, Kelvin Raymer and Natural High is sixth, and then way back to Jimmy Cretin and Bounty Hunter, Rick Long and Bigfoot, Lindsey Wink and Iron Outlaw, and Dave Hartney and Bigfoot. M.O.D. on the Outdoor Channel. Kevin Hines is trackside with our obstacle course finalists.
All right, Rick, so you're back out here with the finals with Dan Patrick again for the second time tonight. And, you know, you go home with the second place, but you guys are rallying your way through the points. That's got to make you feel good.
Yeah, you know, fortunately, we're in first place in obstacles, so this is going to definitely help keep those points up. You know, I can't say enough. I got to thank my sponsors, FabTech, Amerigas, Super Chips, Chain Stuff. They're the ones that get me out here. My wife's up in the stands right now. I wanted to win one for her while she was here, but maybe next time.
Well, you know, you've always got round number 12 out here. We'll be back here at Rapid City for round 12 again, and you'll have at least 2 more chances out here for that.
Well, we're going to do our best, you know. What can I say? I lost to Dan, so I can't feel too bad there, you know. He's the one, like I said earlier, built these trucks, built these frames and all kinds of stuff. He's actually building my new one at the rate he's going. I'm not going to be able to pay him.
Well, Rick, congratulations. A great fight out here. You guys were neck and neck all the way down to the very last set of cars. So congratulations and a job well done.
Thank you very much. We're just trying to do the best we can with the equipment we got.
All right, so Dan, now you get another one in the books. You came back out 2 events tonight, all in one shot in round number 11. Congratulations, man.
Thanks a lot. You know, it was a fun course, you know, and we had a little electrical problem there after the first round. I thought our night was going to be over because of just bad luck, but I jiggled a few things around. It started, and then it got through it. So I can't complain. You know, it's a 13-year-old truck. You know, we've been in every state in the country except for Mississippi. You know, and you know, we've always wanted to come to South Dakota. We've been in North Dakota. And we've heard the sprint car guys back talk about this track in Ohio. So, you know, we were looking forward to coming out here because we heard so much good things about it.
Well, it's great to have you out here. I know that we talked back in Cottage Grove, Oregon, rounds number 9 and 10, about the cantilever suspension and some of the unique qualities of this Samson truck. 13 years old or not, you come out here, you put it down, you take home 2 first places, and congratulations again.
Thanks a lot. It's kind of an outdated system, the cantilever system, but it really works good on these kind of obstacle courses.
Well, Dan, once again, you go home with first place. You got a trophy and some money, and we'll look forward to seeing you out here for round number 12.
All right, well, hope everybody's ready for a little freestyle, because we're done racing, so now we'll throw it down some freestyle.
First time being back in the saddle, he's got to be a little bit careful. Now we're back into Dan Patrick and Samson, tonight's victor in both rounds with a round 11 sweep here in Rapid City, South Dakota. Dan's got to be excited and pumped up to come out here for freestyle after that.
Yeah, you can tell just by the way he came out onto the arena floor, carrying all that speed, opened it up wide to 50 miles an hour, flies through the air a lot of distance on that jump, looking to set the record for distance here. He has got some speed, and that engine is just hooked up here tonight in South Dakota.
Dan Patrick, one of his favorite things is to tune that Hemi to open it up there. He gets a great launch in that Samson truck. Now, one of the interesting things about this truck, when you sit down and you talk with Dan one-on-one, the truck very rarely goes much higher. It just goes farther because of the way that rear cantilever suspension is set up. It absorbs it so well, but it's definitely got the capability of hitting it faster and going farther than most of the other trucks out here. So as that Hemi opens up, he's come out here. He's an air-cooled truck. Up and over the van, goes skyward with the front end. You got to wonder what these guys are thinking when they launch straight up in the air like that and all they can see is sky.
Well, I think they're thinking, I hope I come down clean and don't break my back here. One wrong move and you could be in traction in these monster trucks. So they take their life in their hands every time they leave the ground.
Very interesting. Samson also taking a cautious run, as we saw Scatini out here doing. Samson, a nice little launch there as he comes across the cars. Now, he's got to keep it together. He's got round number 12 to think about. Also back here in Rapid City, South Dakota, I think he might be thinking about coming out and winning one more round.
Yeah, there's no money in freestyle, and Dan Patrick, I'm sure that fact is not lost on him. He's going to try and put on a show for his reputation's sake, but I think he wants to win again in round 12, and he pretty much saved this truck here. Showed a lot of speed, but not a lot of acrobatic maneuvers here in freestyle for Dan Patrick.
You know, and Dan Patrick, what a great guy. You know, there launches it up, always here to entertain the crowd.
Obsession, the one truck remaining in freestyle, coming at you on M.O.D. after this break. Monsters of Destruction on the Outdoor Channel.